Yo, so it's Jake from Just For You Fitness. So I'm going to start doing more lives at peak times because I've got that sort of time now, and I think more of you will kind of log on, or more of you will actually get to watch the videos and get some great value from it. Obviously, we're still on our quest to build this into a sort of 2 weekly Q&A, but like I said, until that time, I'm going to drop some knowledge bombs on you, and then hopefully you get some value from it. I would appreciate it if you liked and commented on the post, because the more that you do that, the more your friends are going to see it, and the more that they're going to get some good sort of value from it. So I'm just going to do a quick one on food taste and talk about why it's so vital to enjoy food whilst being in a calorie deficit, because it creates adherence, which ultimately will help you lose weight. So when people first think about weight loss, like I'm trying to dispel these extremes, they go from either eating what they want at the weekends or eating what they want as they go along to one total extreme. So they're going to go from eating what they want to either demonizing food through sins, or completely cutting it out, or going from high calorie to really low calorie. And that is a recipe for disaster, because it creates it creates a bit of a food disorder, which is less than ideal. So I'm going to go back to the foodie kind of subject. If you're into food and you enjoy the taste of food, it's vital, especially to begin with, that you still enjoy the foods that you're eating. And then over time, you find ways of keeping that within a calorie deficit, and then you can look at either having it on occasion or bringing some kind of replacement in. So I'm going to use a couple of examples. Carb killer bars. Yeah, it's not like normal white chocolate. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love white chocolate, but it's something I can eat every day and it keeps me adherent. And the key is to keep me adherent. I'm not saying I never eat white chocolate, because that would be a total lie, but it will be within my calorie deficit. But things that keep me on track are stuff like carb killer bars. To begin with, I ate a lot more foods like this during my recent weight loss journey, and obviously over time, as my mindset has shifted to be a bit more focused to kind of performance goals and maintaining the leanness that I've attained, I've been obviously less prone to eating obviously these type of food replacement foods. But I can guarantee you, if you enjoy the taste of what you're eating and you're still within a calorie deficit, you're going to be more likely to stick to a calorie deficit. So you don't have to be a complete Nazi with the type of foods that you eat. The key is to stick in a sustainable calorie deficit daily and then weekly. And if you mess up, it's not going to be the end of the world. And then you can look at things like alternatives. So I like a massive volume of food, because I'm a guy, I'm greedy, whatever. So things like jellies, they're full of water, they're satiating, in this. I know it says 10 calories, but there's 2 calories in one pot of this. This has taste to it, okay? If someone said to me I have to eat chicken and broccoli every night, or all of my foods were sins, I would never stick to it, because I like to eat, and food ultimately is enjoyable, and it's going to be enjoyable to most people. I mean, most people like to eat and not have restrictions, so don't put those restrictions on yourself, because it's going to be unrealistic to sustain it in the long term. But obviously, to begin with, start with the calorie deficit and foods you like, and obviously over time you can move to things like these alternatives. And then we're going to go to point number 3. Don't deprive yourself. It's better, so these are little strawberry donuts, it's better to have a little bit as you go along than binge. So say I restrict myself for 3 weeks, okay, and then I have a 6,000 calorie weekend. That's not going to be ideal for me with regards to keeping in a kind of regular weekly calorie deficit. So it's better to have things as you go along. If you've got a craving and it's within your calorie deficit, get it in. Yeah, it's better if you can get double body weight protein in a day, and then obviously the rest of your foods come from greens and good carbs and good fats. But ultimately, it's about the calorie deficit and what you can stick to. Yeah, there's the 80-20 rule, but if you mess that up occasionally and you flip the margins around a little bit more than you should, it's not the end of the world, unless you're into kind of elite performance or you've got real tight specific goals. It's not really necessary. Like, don't get me wrong, those 3 weeks out towards that boxing match, I wasn't eating stuff like this, because I know it will make me that little bit more lethargic, and I had that little idea around performance. But eating these tonight will not bring me out of my calorie deficit. I will still be exactly the same. I've done 20,000 steps today, and I've already done a good hour session in the gym. I know I've got 2 sessions tomorrow, so just be aware that binging will do you more harm than eating what you enjoy as you go along. And this is also a big part of food taste. You know, if you eat something that suppresses your appetite with regards to you enjoying it, you're going to be much more likely to stick to a calorie deficit. Whereas if you restrict completely and then you binge on it, it's going to be no good for you at all. So that's a small one. I feel like you got some good kind of value for that, and I'm glad that there's about 8 people that have logged on. That's awesome. Like I said, I haven't set out for questions. If you have questions, drop a comment in the comment box or send us a message. And like I said, I would really appreciate if you like, share and comment on the page, because I'm trying to provide value and give something back to people so you can take that to your kind of day-to-day lives. If you need help, just ask. If you don't, you know, like I said, like, share, comment, let people know that these are going on and, you know, that they're going to get some good value from it. Matt will be going live at 11 o'clock on Friday. I won't actually be with him. It'll be the first one on his own, so be merciful. And he will give you some knowledge bombs with regards to kind of staying on track over the weekends, where we find people tend to kind of slip up a little bit more. But this was a really good live for me, and I know it because there's some good value and good things that you can implement into your life, and there's some decent food for thought, guys. And like I said, I'll try and put a different vest on next time. The white doesn't do me any justice. It makes my traps look massive, but it's not a good look for me, is it? All right, guys, have a good night, and I will see you soon. Enjoy the England game. Have fun. Bye.